Apply. Okay, I think you can hear me now. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. So sound starts late, but getting set up for a YouTube stream is a lot of work. Okay. So with that said, what's next? Okay, so we were pre-flighting the aircraft so that we can remove our static elements like this cover. Check aileron. Okay, yeah, that's fine. All right. And since it's a virtual plane, I'm not too concerned about some things. I basically really just want to get up in the air, get to my destination. Toggle chucks. Last time I went through this, I only toggled one chuck. And got in the aircraft, fired it up, and was ready to go. Cowling. And lo and behold, I had another chuck that I left on the aircraft. Okay, de-icing boot. And I'm kind of reading some of this stuff. Okay, that's off. So I'm good to go there. Fuel color looks okay. And strobe lights look fine, no broken thing. Static discharge. And that would be, well, actually want me to check the aileron. It look fine. And check, those would be my flaps. Okay. And main entry door, pour. We don't need to have those shades down. Okay, and lights check. And lights check. Okay, yeah, I don't need to check the lights. So cabin toggle lights. Finished. Okay. All right. So let's get started here. Let's see how much power we got. So let's look up here and toggle the battery on. And we got nada. Nada. All right, so we'll call the ground truck and get some external power. And so apparently we left all this stuff on during our last flight. And I think that killed our battery. Okay, so we got external power on, and that should give us the ability to get started. Condition level is feather off. Throttle is on idle. And let's hit our starter. Okay. Introduce some gas. Look at our NG. If we can get to 50 on our NG, we got a good start if we don't overheat. If we overheat, then we got a hot start. And we have to shut down cool and retry again. Okay, we got a good start. All right, brakes are not set. Alrighty, so parking brakes are pulled and set. That's the problem with these Okay, so now they're pulled and set, I hope. All right, let's go back up and turn on our battery, our second battery, and we'll turn on generator 1 and 2. And we'll turn on our avionics 1 and 2. Our initial separator comes on, and our no smoking and seatbelt signs are on, as well as our taxi lights. So we are ready to get permission to taxi. Now, you are not going to be able to hear me, to hear ATC. So don't try. See, KCLT, Charlotte, and we've talked to clearance delivery already, so we are going directly to ground. So Charlotte ground is, for our purposes, we're going east. Now, I'm not sure whether this means, I think this means which one we're at, and we are at the east apron, which is 121.9. So that's what we want to dial in. And tower is gonna be 118.25. Okay, so let's go ahead and put that in there. 2225 and 118, and ground is 121 points. Look again. 121.8. So we're dialing our 0.8, and I'm way over here in the corner dialing stuff in. Okay, 121. That was point up. Got 0.2725, 775, 8, then 121. Okay. So that's ground, and we got tower in. All right, so we are ready to call for taxi. And let's see. Charlotte ground, Pilatus 9875 November is ready to taxi. We've got the weather and we're ready to go. Actually, we don't have the weather. Haha. So let's get the weather. Haha. Let's get the weather. That was a foolish thing to do. The ATLAS is 121.15. Alright, so 15 and 121. Com 2.
Charlotte Douglas INTL information Bravo.
Bravo.
2100 Zulu weather. Wind 360 at 8. Visibility more than 10.
36.
Sky clear. Temperature 0.
So
Dew
we're going to
point
36 right.
-10. Altimeter 3037. Arriving runways 36 right, 36 left, 36 center. Departing runways 36 right, 36 center. Advise on initial contact you have Bravo.
Got a little high going on. High pressure.
Charlotte Douglas INTL information Bravo. 2100 Zulu weather. Wind 360 at 8.
And
Visibility
we are
more
going
than
direct
10.
to Raleigh,
Sky
Durham.
clear. Temperature 0. Dew point -10. Altimeter
How often do we get
3037.
that?
Arriving runways 36 right, 36 left, 36 center. Departing runways 36 right, 36 center. Advise on initial contact, you have Bravo.
Okay, enough of that. I get it. I get it. Got my altimeter dialed in 3037 and 36 right, and winds at 8
Charlie
knots.
Douglas
I get it.
INTL information Bravo.
How many times you gonna tell me?
Zulu weather. Wind 360 at 8.
Okay, 360 at 8. We taking out on 36. Taxi to 36 right via Delta. All right, I guess I could do that. Taxi to 36 right via Delta. Pilatus 9875 November. All right, so I have to repeat that a couple times. And find our way out of this airport. Okay, so I got a system on my head that I can use to look out of the window, but I just need to enable it. And X camera, I need to enable X camera. It may not enable well, but we can try it. One moment, please. X camera. Oh man, never seen this screen before. Must have hit Gizmo or something. That's the one I'm looking for. X Camp Global Traffic. Yeah, we enable that too. So we're not the only one in the skies today. Okay. And as you can see, we got someone taking off. In fact, we should have a bunch of folks taking off. All right. I think he was flying the wrong way though, based on the winds. Okay, enter that. So we got 112 miles to go. And let's try to enable X camera one more time. I see what happened. I hit the plug-in information rather than enable disable. Okay. And traffic global. X camera is enabled. Okay. Good deal. All right. So it's not popping up at the bottom. So let's go here. Let's enable it here. Uh-oh. Did you see that? Look at where I'm at. This is not going to work out, I don't think. All right, let's see. Let's jump back. Yep. So X camera is not going to work out because it's not. Because we started the flight without it, and so it didn't calibrate itself. So let's find it and disable it. Okay, so it's disabled again. All right, and I like that I can disable it right from the panel. Okay, so rather than move our head, we'll just use the hat button, we can still scan left and right to make sure. Now he said taxi via Delta. And let's make sure that we're on Delta. I think this is Delta. If we can get on Delta, that would take us right to 36 right without having to worry about any other traffic. Alrighty. Okay. So taxi lights are on, and gotta remember to throw on those nav lights. Okay, Delta 3, and we're gonna go to the end of Delta. And I should tell Google to turn my heater on because I think it's 25 degrees outside and it's kind of chilly in here. What is the temperature in Charlotte? -1 Celsius, and which is probably about 28. Well, 30.4 is what it says. Okay, well. Okay, this is our ILS hold short line. But we in VFR conditions today, so we can go ahead and taxi. We're gonna take the whole runway. Okay, let's switch to tower. Got tower frequency dialed in, and I could tell you it looks like the AI traffic is taking off on 18, and I'm taking off on 36, so either my ATIS is behind or they're behind.
Approaching runway 36 right.
Alrighty then. Charlotte Tower, Pilatus 9875 November is holding at runway 36 right, ready to depart for a northeast departure. Clear for takeoff, runway 36 right, Pilatus 9875 November. Alright, so we are clear for takeoff.
Entered runway 36 right, 8,600 feet remaining.
And I can probably turn that down a little bit. You can probably hear her better than you can hear me. Okay, so this is 36 right, and the problem is knowing how to turn it down, knowing which button to hit when it's in its case. Okay, so we're lined up, and let's do lights, landing, now strobes, beacon on, taxi off, ignition set. Never came on. Turn our external power off, which we should have did that long before. I don't know what's going on with the inertial separator. And we're holding up the runway, so we gotta get going, Alright, so we'll take care of everything else when we get in the air. That is ludicrous. Know that it's okay to get in the air. Flaps at 15, flight idle, and give us some torque, and we are on our takeoff roll. Bring it up till about 38, and we at 80 knots. Rotate. Wheels up, positive rate.
Flight not started.
Gear up. key on, yaw damper comes on. Now button is engaged. Start our turn directly to KRDU, Raleigh-Durham. Now I don't see us making our turn. Okay, so this is on loc. It needs to be on GPS, so that should start our turn. And let's reactivate this so that we don't have to fly back to the south to pick up the old line, create a new path from our current location. Now, we are clamming out, and let's clam out. This is a relatively short flight. Let's climb at 1,200 feet per minute. Not 12. Well, let's climb up to east is odd. Let's climb up to 7,500 feet. That'll be our cruise altitude. Let's get over 10,000, because that way we can fly as fast as we can get there. And let's climb out. I'm climbing out at 1,900 right now. Are we okay with that? Let's bring it down 100 feet. Climb out just a tad slower. That way, let's engage our IAS. And I think that'll help us hold our speed. Turn on our half think and our soft ride. And from here, it's all gravy. It's just up to the plane. Okay, so what we can do is we can put our flight plan in our iPad. Let's change to the Pilatus. Okay, we got the Pilatus. 7,500 feet. And K Charlie Lima Tango to Kilo Romeo Delta uniform. You guys know what I'm talking about? All right. So we are getting there. And we are holding our speed like we're holding about 120 knots as we climb through 8,500 feet for 10,500. Actually, we need 11,500 because we are flying easterly. East is odd, and looks like I got some sort of aviation light on because I can see it. That might just be part of this aircraft. So passenger, yep. On the reflection static elements. Don't need that guy. Okay, and then let's tune to Charlotte departure even though we don't have we're not our instrument flight route, nor are we doing flight following. Charlotte departure is for above 8,000 is 120.5. Throw that in the rocker, and we can enjoy our flight at this point. There's something that I remember that I must do. My after takeoff checklist. Okay. No clouds, so we don't need any de-icing. Landing lights come off. Fuel pumps go to auto. Passenger no smoking sign stays off, and my passengers can unloose their seat belts. But I prefer they remain in their seats. Okay, so we've got that done. All right, and just checking over things. Let's check our cabin temperature. 73.4. It's quite comfortable in here. Outside temperature right now at this altitude is minus 20 degrees and falling. Or let's see, then it says minus 3. Oh yeah, that's right, minus 3 Fahrenheit. I couldn't quite figure that out for a second there. I had to think about it. All right. But I don't need any icing protection on because we've got a high pressure and it's clear. Now off our left window, you're looking at Interstate 85, and there's an airfield just to the right of the interstate. I'm sorry, just to the left of the interstate. I was absent the day they taught left and right. And that's Concord Regional. So that gives you some idea where we're at now. And we've blown through our altitude, so we're actually gonna actually come back down some and capture our altitude. Okay. And as we do, we'll pick up some speed as we fly downward. Let's see, what is our descent rate? We're descending at 500 feet a minute. And we'll just increase that to 600 feet. How about that? And let's see, okay, we got automatic engine start. Maintenance report, tow, walk around, we did that, maps and weight balance, and we did check our fuel level. We got enough gas to get to Raleigh-Durham. I use the term gas and fuel interchangeably sometime. I guess you figured that out by now. Okay. Okay, so how much time in the air do we have? We got 33 minutes. But we still got our flaps in. That's why we're flying so slow. Missed that. Not bad. Now we should pick up some speed and get the boogity in. Besides, since we were in Class B airspace below, okay, let's see if we can arm this guy and it's armed, because I want it to capture 11.5. Yep, it did. Okay, so we're good. So let's go down here and put on some instrument lights. Cockpit lights. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, I can deal with that. And is my avionic flashlight on? Let me just check. Nope. I didn't think it was, because the aviation flashlight is usually a red light. Okay, so 11,500 feet, and we are still a little slow. So let's add a little torque to our engines. We apparently got some headwinds that we're dealing with. And this is our aircraft in motion. Looking for a thumbnail that I can create. Okay, how about that? Let's see if control, say, how can we snap capture a thumbnail? I don't know how to do that. Okay, so lock preview. That work? Did that do it? So add. Okay, I don't know how to capture an image. Don't know how, so therefore I'm gonna keep the same thumbnail that we're currently using. I would like to have been able to change it at this point in the flight. We'll just leave our settings alone. So I can almost tell where Wes is at because that would be when the sun is brightest. So this is west, and just by looking at the sunset, which changes in the sky depending on the time of year, but the idea is you get the idea that west is over that way, over the right wing somewhere. I tell you, I was absent the day they taught left and right over the left wing somewhere. Okay. And no wonder I'm not picking up any speed. I can't raise my flaps. I didn't catch that when I did the outside view that I still got flaps engaged, but look at there. Still got 15 degrees flaps, and that's just killing my airspeed. Okay, I got them up. Nope, I didn't get them up. I'm looking at the gauge right here that says flap, and it still says 15 degrees. And I'm hitting it, trying to raise it. And so apparently I got a failure going on. Now, there are two things that I could do. I can continue the flight on in the Raleigh-Durham at 150 knots, which would take me an additional, which would take me 25 minutes. Or I could divert to another airport, the airport that's off our left column is Asheboro. That's Asheboro Regional. I could divert there, call a mechanic and have him fix my flaps and then get back in the air. The problem with diverting at 11,000, it would take forever to get down. So I could divert to Salis City, but if I get all the way to Salis City, then I don't have very far to go before I get to Raleigh-Durham. Let's see, I might even at this altitude, I wonder if I can see Greensboro International from here. I can see the shape of the Appalachian Mountains way back in the distance. I don't know if you can see that, but it's definitely getting dark. I thought I had raised my flaps because usually I raise my gear and a few seconds later I go ahead and retract my flaps. And apparently I tried, and I heard the buzzer. I heard them come up. Let's see. Let me try manually. Well, that's landing gear. Duh. Come on, landing gear. I don't want you up. I want you down. Okay. I mean, I don't want you down. I want you up. And let's see. I got a light that says AP trim. Yeah, because the landing gear caused drag, which the autopilot had to compensate for. Okay, so where's my flaps? I usually never have to control them manually, so I think this is they. Alright, so that's them. Let's see if that did the trick. Nope. my flaps definitely have failed. So I got this at flap 0, and they are not working. So with that said, I am going to continue the flight. Okay, so the airports that I've got in front of me, I've got a couple private strips that I'm gonna cross over, and then the one with the brighter lights up there, I do believe is Siler City. And Siler City's airport code is K Kilo S Sierra C Charlie and R Romeo. Okay. Looking for the dog. Okay, and have we gotten our halfway point yet? I would say we're right at the halfway point now. I think it was 112 miles, and we've got 20 minutes, 19.25 minutes, and 55 miles to go. So yeah, we're right at the halfway point. Had it not been for the flap failure, we probably would be a lot closer, and we'd be burning a lot less fuel. Our fuel consumption rate is, let's see, we're using at this rate 567 liters an hour. So that's about a liter, take 2.2 liters to equal a gallon. Is that right? Well, if my math is off, then just correct me in the comments, or if you are watching and you want to do the math, then tell me, convert the liters, convert my fuel burn from liters to gallons, and we'll know. Give you some homework. So that's me in the little corner. Now, one thing about these flights, even these short ones, they generally will keep you busy. And what I need to do right now is look at changing my, oh wow, we already got Liberty on the scope. Changing my radio frequency to the weather in Raleigh-Durham, so we can see which runway to expect. And it's already time to start getting down. If I wait till I see Raleigh-Durham and start trying to get down, then it's almost too late. So let's come down and capture 3500. Well, a lot of times ATC will say descend and maintain, say 55 for the initial descent. And let's descend at a rate of 600 feet a minute. We're starting our descent, so let's go ahead on and put our seatbelt light on. And we're still good to go. So, since we're starting the descent, we might actually pick up some speed. But this aircraft has such large flaps that it don't take a lot to slow the flaps can really slow down the aircraft. All right, so there's Solid City on the scope. Kilo Sierra Charlie Romeo, and let's take that guy off. Okay, and figure out which scope is which. Okay, 123.8 is the ATIS for Raleigh-Durham. The ATIS is the automatic terminal information system. I think that's what ATIS is. But the long and short of it is, it's an aviation weather brief, an automated aviation weather brief. Okay, so let's go ahead and dial that in and see if we're close enough to hear it. Not yet. But might be because it's 123.8 and we put 124.8 in. Human error. All right.
Raleigh-Durham INTL information Bravo.
Bravo.
2200 Zulu weather. Wind light and variable.
Light
Visibility
variable.
more than 10. Sky conditions 25,000 view. Temperature -1. Dew point -11. Altimeter 3038. Arriving runways 05 left, 05 right, 32. Departing runways 05 left, 05 right, 32. Advise on initial contact you have Bravo.
Bravo. Okay, winds are light and variable. Altimeter is 3038, and what the altimeter do is uses the pressure readings from the ground to calculate how high we are in the air. So that's really important, because without the altimeter reading, I could think I'm at 9,600 and actually be at 12,600 or even 2,600. I mean, it can make, well, 9,000 to 2,000, that's a stretch, but it can really throw you off quite a bit. Okay, so I'm expecting, with such clear skies and long visibility, I'm expecting Raleigh-Durham to show up on my scope almost at any moment, given that, well, I'm not at 11,000 anymore, so, and since I'm flying so slowly, I didn't have to descend so fast. If I was flying along at about 200 knots, then I would have wanted to start my descent about where I started it, about just past the halfway point. But being slowed to 150 indicated or 175 miles knots over the ground, then you know I'm really flying a lot slower than I should be flying. Let me just check. Let's see. Now flaps that have anything to do with icing, but I've seen this coordinator here seems to be a little funky. Also, one of my steam gauges might be a little out because it shows me in a bank. Raleigh-Durham. It's on my scope. I can see it. So, the airport straight ahead is our destination, and we are 30 miles from it. We're at 8,005, and I slowed the descent to 300 feet per minute. We're 300 feet per minute to capture 5,500, at which time we should level off, and given that we are 28 miles out, then we may wind up with the descent almost the whole way. Sorry about the noise. Alrighty. So let's jump outside the aircraft one more time. And as it gets dark, then the aircraft gets silhouetted. Now I do have a wing light that I can turn on, which I think I will. Why? Because I can. Let me turn on a few more dash lights too, because now that it's really super dark, then it's hard to see my buttons. So let's turn this dim light on, and let's see. I think those are the lights that I might want to have on, and let's see what that looks like. For the sake of this video, I am going to leave these lights on, but in reality, these are so bright that they would affect at nighttime my vision. So I wouldn't use them unless I could turn them down. And this aircraft is not modeled. The buttons that turn them up and down are not modeled. So they come on at full brightness. But again, I can get away with it because I'm in a sim. Okay, so we're 20 miles out from Raleigh-Durham, and we're at 7,000. So let's go ahead on and decrease our descent to, let's do 1,100 feet a minute. And we are going to take 5, let's see where are we going? We are going to the LPO. So we're going to take 5 right. So the shorter runway on the right that you see is the runway that we're going to land at. Okay, I'm 20 miles out, so I am going to call Raleigh. It's so easy to get behind the aircraft. Okay, Raleigh Tower, Tower West. Got ATIS already, and I'm not seeing the approach frequency on the taxi diagram, so let's close that. And 124.95. Okay, so let's dial that in. And we're just about to capture our 5500. And this is Raleigh approach 95. Raleigh approach Pilatus 9875 is 15 miles to the southwest, inbound for stop. And we've got Bravo. I think our weather report was Bravo. Okay, and here they would give us a altitude to descend to. Descend and maintain 3,500 Pilatus 9875 November. So they told me to descend and main to 3,500. So I'm gonna go ahead and start my descent. And I want to capture 3,500. Tower is 119.3. Let's see. I think I got that pretty much memorized. Raleigh's my home airport, and I have flown into it quite a few times, but I spend just as much time flying into other airports. Let's see. Let's get that information again. I think it's 119.3. Raleigh approach class delivery ground tower 119.3. So let's go ahead and set that up and fly the plane first. Aviate, navigate, and then communicate. So I know I want the other runway, so let me go ahead and change my heading bug so I can move over to the other runway. Descend and maintain 2,500 Pilatus 9875 November. Okay, so they want me even lower. And 2,500. Tower on 119.3 Pilatus 9875 November. Okay, so they want me to change the tower, and I was trying to stay ahead of them by doing it by putting in the frequency before they told me, and I fell behind. Raleigh Tower, Pilatus 9875 November is inbound for a stop with the weather. Clear to land, runway 5 right, Pilatus 9875 November. So they just cleared me to land, and I'm doing visual all the way. So let's get rid of like that. And let's get up there and throw on our landing and taxi lights so that we can see once we not hit the ground, but get to the ground. And let's get lined up for this runway. We are at 2,200. So let's pull it back on this power and slow our roll. Okay, let's get lined up. We're in flaps range, gear down. Flaps, our flaps are already set. In fact, our flaps won't move. That's not worth declaring an emergency for. So, and these aircraft do simulate these failures that way. Okay, so I need to get down and come on down. What's that that game show? Come on down. You're the next contestant on The Price is Right. Okay. And my inertia separator is not working either. Okay, 1 mile final. Okay. No, I don't have any flaps that I can use to slow down anymore, so I'm just going to power back here. And I don't want to power too slowly. Okay. And round out, round out, round out, and let it come on down. Nice. Good landing. And my reverse thrusters are working, so that's a good thing. Look at my NGs. Whoa. Bring this down to flight, to ground. Yeah, so my aircraft has some major issues going on. If you look at the instruments, my NG, which is my ITT, it was spiking. Yeah, I just got some issues going on. All that noise that you were hearing, zzz, that was my reverse thrusters. I was using that to help me slow down. So that's one thing I like about this aircraft. I was supposed to stop and get taxi instructions. Raleigh Tower, Pilatus 9875 is clear of the runway. Request taxi to landmark. Taxi to landmark via Alpha Juliet 1, Pilatus 9875. November. Okay. So, as soon as I get to my destination, then we will have completed but before we go, we do want to look, once we shut down, we can look at our maintenance report and see exactly what failures we've had. Okay, so I'm looking for Juliet, crossing Charlie and then Delta. So the dog decided to come alive. Okay, so this is Alpha 7 and Juliet. I see Juliet up there. And Juliet 2. There we go. And we're cooking with gas. Chico, hush. Go to bed. You're sleepy. I tell you, sometimes a dog is like having a 2-year-old. Go to bed. Go lay down. Go get in your bed. Okay. So that guy now, that guy's trying to show off his testosterone because it is -2 degrees out there Celsius, which is about 28 degrees Fahrenheit, and he riding that cart with no coat on. Can you believe it? Of course, on the sim, he rides in the rain with no coat, a jacket too. All right, so we are parked. All right, brakes. And brakes, come on. Hard to set these brakes sometimes. Brakes. Okay, brakes are locked and set. And I was going to show you the wing light. I actually got busy in the cockpit and it slipped my mind, but I just turned it on and look out the window so you can see the wing light. And what that is, it's a light that allows me to look at the wing to see if any ice is on it. So it's still important to actually look out the window for stuff like ice. All right, so let's get back into the cockpit. And now, did I find a different view? Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. Anyway, but I hit a button, I heard something. Yeah, I'm not sure what that's activating. Okay, let's turn off the aircraft and let's go up here. Landing light, taxi light, nav, wing, and strobe comes off. Fuel pumps were supposed to go to auto on before I landed, but they did okay. Smoking, no smoking, and seatbelt signs come off. Generator 1 comes off. Generator 2 comes off. And my battery still is no good, so let's leave battery 1 on. And we'll go ahead and turn our avionics off. Look at that. Our avionics light is not working. Yes, so we got some major issues. And now the traffic wants to show up. Those red labels that you just saw, traffic, other aircraft that are in the vicinity. Okay, so let's turn these off. Off, there we go. And let's hit that guy. And we are off. Now let's look at our maintenance report right quick. Okay, so compressor and all that stuff is okay. I'm not going to go through that. I just want to see what's bad. We have no charge whatsoever on the battery. and no charge on the backup battery, on the second battery. And as soon as I hit on battery 2, so see my lights came back on, so I must still have battery 2 on. Now I just turned it off, okay, because I just recharged it. So we were running strictly off generator. Avionics look okay. Didn't have an issue with those. Altimeter and looked okay. Pressurization system looked okay. So everything looks okay there. But there is one more place that I can go, and I might see some failures. So just bear with me. Failures. And let's see, systems, autopilot, everything was fine. Controls, everything fine. Electrical, everything was fine. Equipment, I don't know why I didn't have, see, everything is fine there. Navigation, everything was fine. Didn't have any issue with navigation. Engines, failures, fuel air. Didn't have any problems with the engine. So, but these things that I'm clicking are things that could go wrong. Didn't have any problems with nav aids. Everything, and if anything had failed, then it would be in red. It'd be a little red dot rather than a green dot beside it. And didn't have any problems with autopilot. Let's see. It was my flaps that wouldn't retract. Flaps was, well, you saw it. You saw it. So whatever it was, it didn't register. But definitely got to get a mechanic to take a look at it. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that concludes today's flight. And I know it's too dark to really see the aircraft out there on the tarmac, but I appreciate those of you who joined for joining, and I will catch you guys sometime again. And if you're a pilot, remember, a good pilot is always learning. Cheerio.